My name is Zerical Cathos. Those who are on Demonosophy and Beyond know me. I've been invited by Firstborn to speak on spirits that help with creativity and business endeavors. The moment you hit me up on the email, like
Yeah.
it was funny because I was making a list in my head already. Uh,
Wow.
so I had to write it down because I really had to think about it. For those who are the creative types, I know like some people are more business minded and some people are more creative, and some people have problems like balancing that out because like I have my own business, um,
Right.
and I'm more creative and I'm not really business minded. So I've been in the same boat as a lot of people may be in right now. Um, so I understand where some people may be coming from. When it comes to creativity, I feel like first of all you have to build a foundation. You have to understand creation itself. For people who are trying to get into that flow, I feel like you have to go to some of the higher ups to understand creation itself. Then you would know how to work with that creative energy. Some of those deities or spirits that I would recommend for creation in general is Ra. Ra is very good when it comes to explaining creation. Neberger, also an Egyptian deity. Lilith. Lilith is very good when it comes to creation. Michael. Michael is a good all around spirit.
Are you saying Archangel Michael or
Correct.
okay, for sure.
Correct. And then, I would also recommend Lucifer. Lucifer is very creative. When it comes to like business, Papa Legba opens
Hmm.
up opportunities. And so it'll be like you may have your business all set up, um, but you may not have any opportunities that you can foresee. And Papa Legba will open up those roads to you. You'll start having people like drop in, ask you questions, and want to purchase your products or your services. Mammon, Mammon, if you're about getting money, but I would definitely like caution because some people get caught up in making money, and then it becomes more about making money than spirituality,
Yeah.
and that's where that balance has to come out. You have to constantly analyze yourself and what your goals are and really what you're trying to achieve. And for me, it's more about helping people out spiritually than making money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially with Mammon, because Mammon represents greed also.
Mm,
So the thing with these spirits is you want to not get too caught up in the mundane and the physical, because these spirits are going to help you align your intention and actually embrace your shadow along that path. The money is going to come, so there's no point of getting like too wrapped up
right.
or just super big headed and greedy and just lost to the
And
point where you can even become comfortable.
right. That's what I tell people. If you're doing what you're supposed to spiritually, those opportunities will pop up. You just got to focus on doing the right thing. Geb. Geb is another one. But he's a spirit that is represents like the earth. And like we just said, like you don't want to get too wrapped up in the mundane. But if you're balanced, you can utilize the energy of Geb in order to get your business started. Belial, also an earth spirit. I've known practitioners who work with Belial and they have successful businesses. Angels, like if you're not good at organizing your business, just about any angel is good at organization. So they can give you a step by step process of what you have to do.
Mhm.
Break it down into small pieces so that it's easier because a lot of people have a tendency to get overwhelmed, but like if you have like a big project and it's busted up into smaller steps, then it's less overwhelming and it's easier to get the ball rolling on that. Hecate. Hecate can work kind of like Papa Legba, where she's a crossroads deity, can open up different roads to you, different opportunities, different options. Then, like, if you want to get specific, okay, there are different deities, different spirits to help you with your niche. Okay, so you got people who are creative musically inclined, because there's a lot of magic that is put into music, if you understand it. So if you are a practitioner who, let's say, wants to sell your music, I would definitely go with King Payman, obsessed with music, loves that stuff. The Sirens, can help you with music.
Is that a collection of spirits, the Sirens?
I believe so, and I think in the Voodoo pantheon they also have sirens. So people who work with the Loa, they can work with that group of spirits.
So that's not specific to like one pantheon or a class of spirits.
No, well, I mean, with the sirens, I think the sirens are like from Greek,
Okay,
but
I
no,
got you.
they're not exclusive. They're not exclusive.
Okay,
In fact, none of these spirits are really exclusive to
exactly.
a pantheon, because like they all know each other, they all work with each other.
Yeah,
They're all different like versions. Like one culture
definitely.
may call one spirit something, and then go over to another culture and they have a different name.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, Gabriel can definitely help you with music, because he's a messenger. Like somebody who's having trouble with lyrics. Gabriel is also known for blowing on the trumpet, so he can probably teach you things about music. Let's see, Lucifer again. Any angel that is listed that is involved with the choirs, like the heavenly choir, I would definitely hit up if you're musically inclined. World building, okay. So let's say you're a practitioner and you want to build an app, or if you want to code for like a video game that has the theme of magic, right? Metatron. Metatron is very inclined towards electronic things. Also, Metatron has knowledge of world building. Lucifer knows about world building. Uh, Net from the Egyptian pantheon, she knows about world building. Lilith knows about world building. For those who are speakers, influencers, sometimes people go and they get paid for public speaking.
Yeah, I was about to
Some,
say that.
get paid for having certain channels, whether it's TikTok, Patreon. Patreon's another one. If you have a podcast, then you can go to Gabriel. A lot of these spirits can help you with what you have to say. I've had Lilith help me when it came to writing. I've had Hecate help me. So I'm sure that there's way more spirits that can help you. Um, Probably the same ones that help you with singing can help you with speaking.
Right.
With the sirens, stuff like that. Okay, so then there's the writers. Okay, me personally, like I'm an author, so that's where my business is at. And
Off top, I can think of, isn't that Tahuti deals with writing?
that's number one. Yeah. Thoth was like one of the first entities that I'd ever worked with, and he's a scribe, definitely good at writing. There is an angel called Penemu. He's part of the Watchers. He's one of the chiefs of the Watchers. He's also a scribe. Now with Penemu, the thing is, like, with my gnosis, he's kind of like sarcastic. So if you have him help you with your writing project, you really have to watch the tone that you're writing in, because like sometimes he can come off as kind of snobbish and elitist. So he's very good, but like I said, you have to watch your tone, and you might have to do some editing.
Yeah, proofreading.
Yeah, because like he has a tendency to kind of talk down. Dan Talion. Dan Talion is very knowledgeable. I believe he's kind of like a librarian. historian, and then like I said, Hecate, Lilith. They've helped me write my book. I know there's a lot of practitioners out there that like forging. They like making wands. They like making um, metal pieces, perhaps art pieces. So with that, I would go with Ogun because Ogun is very good with iron. Hephaestus from the Greek pantheon, Greek and Roman. Um, he's a forger. And then let's see, with the visual arts, I have Lucifer and Dantalion. If you really want to know about what a spirit can help you with, I would definitely also look up the Goetia because there's a lot of spirits there that help you with the arts in general.
Yeah. Yeah, and I believe you even mentioned King Payman is included in that Goetia class.
King Payment and I believe Dantalion is also part of the Goetia as well.
So what would be like some of the internal things that would take place when working with these spirits, you would say? Would it be like heightened intuition or a new sense of empowerment or self? What would you say? And
I
heightened gnosis,
I would say, a lot of times it's kind of like you get that aha moment where the light bulb goes off and you just have these ideas that fit in with your project. You may also run into like information that can help you with your project that you were not privy to before. They may speak to you directly and give you information and give you like guidance, or you just may find inspiration where just like you all of a sudden you have motivation to do something.
right?
There's a lot of people who are procrastinators, and then all of a sudden you'll just have all this energy and all this focus. um that's another thing, like a lot of people who are creative sometimes they get stagnant. um And for people who need motivation, I've used the energy of Samael. Samael is one of those people who will light a fire under your ass
Hmm.
and get you going when you need to do something. A lot of angels are like soldiers, and they're very focused on their goals. They're goal oriented, and they will do whatever it is they need to do in order to achieve that goal. So if you lack motivation, I would definitely recommend tapping into angelic energy because they're good for that.
Would you say there will be a certain type of consultation or reading one might need beforehand before choosing which entity, deity, spirit to work with that best fits with their spiritual makeup?
Personally, I don't really do divinations to find out which spirit I need to work with. I would I
Hmm.
would recommend research. Like if you have a specific goal, definitely research. What spirits have that particular forte that can help you. Educate yourself. And by educating yourself and learning more about that spirit, it helps to connect and tap into that energy.
Working with spirits and just spiritual practices in general is going to connect you with that higher sense of purpose and inspiring that creativity. Actually, stay consistent with whatever project it may be. And those synchronicities allowing you to come across networking opportunities or just high quality information that's going to accelerate you to the next level of your practice and your creative business. So, how long have you been working with spirits or just with your occult practice in general?
Over 18 years. In my 20s is when I started to actually like focus on those things. I was phasing out of organized religion. And
Hmm.
so during that time, when I was looking for something else, that's when I started to like basically be obsessive about my studies and be serious about, getting knowledge and understanding things outside of what I was taught initially.
What would you say, like, it's a big importance of working with spirits when it comes to having a business or being a creative?
I'd say in general, just be genuine. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't respect people who are bullshitters.
Hmm.
They don't respect people who are liars. You know, you have to establish a relationship with these spirits. You know, it's just like having a friend. You know, you can't go to a stranger and just ask them for things and expect them to give them to you. And you know, it's not just about asking the spirits for something because that gets annoying. You know,
Definitely.
like you actually have to put in the work. You have to show that you're genuine, and then you know, like every once in a while, when you need help, like they're willing to help you out, but they're not like genies. You can't rub a bottle and then just ask them for shit and expect them to give it to you.
So you say it's important to approach these spirits with reverence and respect and overall consistency, because yes, they can do stuff you can't do, and you can do stuff they can't do. You got to develop that foundation first, what they want, what it takes to build that relationship with them.
Yeah, it's a two-way street.
When you talk about building a relationship and building that foundation with them, I feel like a good mindset to have is just to overall understand and overall kind of approach them like they're actually here in the physical.
Mm.
You know, even with ancestral veneration, when you're doing this communion and this meeting with them, you talking to them like they're actually here, treating them like they're here, but understanding their power and their divinity is definitely a good way, I would say, to approach it. And keep in mind, understanding that the ethereal and the unseen matters just as most as the physical, if not more, because that's where it all starts. Okay, would you say they are like where everybody say like, oh, they're terrifying, they're this? You know, what would you say about that?
I think a lot of the literature that describes the different spirits contribute to what we see, and how we feel about certain spirits contribute to the way we see them.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you know, a lot of us are taught that demons are bad,
Mm-hmm.
demons are monstrous. So when we tap into those different energies, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see monsters. But when you start interacting with them and understanding who they really are, and you start getting cool with them, they start, for me, they started looking more like people. A lot of them start looking more like you and I,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest. And I think that's what they do is like once you calm down and they realize that like you're ready to learn and look past all the propaganda behind them, then they take on a form that is more better to receive. You know,
Definitely.
they're not scary at all.
They demonize the word demon, like literally.
Yeah, and it's like if you go back to the real word daemon, it means superpower, guardian, you know, inspiration. How is that a bad thing?
Right.
You
And
know?
I definitely found a connection with their with the root word of it, because like I said, like that's my actual name. My name is Damon. So even growing up, I've had people jokingly say demon and things like that. And as I got more deeper into my spiritual practices, you know, just starting with ancestral veneration. Okay, this is demonized for a reason, because it's going to help you unlock your potential
Right.
more in actually embracing your shadows and pushing past the boundaries of your ego and your conditioning.
Right. Absolutely. Because, you know, ego is what holds us back. That and fear. And, you know, a lot of the so-called demons that I've talked to actually give a positive message. Like they taught me more about love and unity. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, you know, if you speak to the typical Christian, they're like, "Oh, demons hate humanity" and stuff like that. And really, it's not that they hate humanity; they just don't have respect for people who are not seeking out their potential, who are not
Hmm.
seeking out that spiritual evolution.
What would you say are mindsets and emotions one shouldn't have when it comes to approaching energy work with spirits? Like some people may get into it and they're depressed or have certain mental illnesses. So what would you say are like some precautions with that when it comes to your mindset beforehand?
One, if you have a mental disorder, you have to get that in check. You have to make sure that you are stable. There are some practitioners who have to limit themselves and limit their contact because it can push you over the edge. Like it's exhausting sometimes to tap into certain energies. Certain things that spirits will tell you are hard to mentally process, and those can drive you to psychosis sometimes. So anybody who has any mental issues should be aware of that. Another thing that kills your magic and can turn gnosis into a negative connection is fear. Fear, anger, hate. It draws things to you like parasites. Also, if you are connecting with those negative feelings, uh, the spirits, whether or not they mean well, will reflect that back at you. For example, I say, like with demons, if you go in with the mindset that a demon is evil, it's going to show you evil. It's kind of like if I were to meet you on the street and not know you, and if I were to treat you like an asshole, well, then you'd be inclined to treat me the same way. When you go into your magic, one, you have to clear out all the bullshit that you've done throughout the day. All the drama that goes out. Leave that at the door. If you are approaching a spirit to ask them for help, it's disrespectful to fear them, and it's disrespectful to call upon holy names or any other names to kind of like constrain them and force them into servitude.
Mm-hmm.
There was, I forgot which book I was reading from, but there's this saying that it's better to have a willing friend than a bitter slave, because like the moment that so-called slave gets a chance to stab you in the back or to screw you over, they're going to. And
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to demons, angels, whatever spirit, like they can royally screw up your life. When it comes to servitors, when you create them, I've gotten warnings in the books that I've read to give them a time limit, because once you run out of things for them to do, they're still going to be running off of that program, and they may actually become detrimental to what you're trying to do. For example, there's a story about the golem from Jewish lore, where the golem was created to protect people, but once the enemy of the people were all destroyed and gone, the golem had nothing to do, so it started like turning on the people. And so that's why like you want to have like a time limit, and you want to give it specific rules, so that it doesn't turn on you and it doesn't become something negative. A lot of those servitors also, you have to watch out because they get more power. The more energy you give to them, and the more energy that other people tend to give to them, they become stronger, and they can take on like godlike statuses. So you also want to keep that in mind, where it's like, how much energy do you really want to put into the servitor, and how powerful do you want it to get? And do you have like a strategy if the servitor goes out of control to get rid of it, or to bring it back under control? A lot of people have issues with spirits because they don't understand how they work. And I believe like that's a lot of one of the reasons why a lot of these spirits get demonized, because they have a higher understanding of what's going on. And us as human beings, we're limited.
Definitely.
So one of the things that was told to me during Gnosis is that first, understand the soul of a spirit. Once you understand the soul of a spirit, get to know their personality, get to know who they are, get to know how they think. Then you understand their actions. And once you understand their actions, then they stop appearing as evil. You start understanding how they move. And then once you understand like their place in this universe, then you can work with them smoothly, more smoothly.
So, with working with these spirits, how often would you say there's the need to give offerings or petitions or commune with them, things like that? Like, is this an everyday thing,
Well,
weekly? How would you say?
I mean, you have to have a balance between this life and your spiritual life. And sometimes things happen where, like you may not put in any energy into your practice. But I would say definitely attempt, try to practice every day, especially with meditation. When it comes to offerings, I feel like the biggest offering you can give them is applying what they've taught you. They really want you to do the work. They want you to get the knowledge. They want you to practice it. Speaking about them, that in itself is an offering where it's
Definitely.
like when you find out the truth about a spirit that's been demonized, tell the people about it.
That
Like,
public praise, they actually do like public praise.
right. And, like I'm not the type to like offer food. Some people offer blood, but like you have to be very careful with that because there are some vampiric spirits, and like the more blood you offer them, the more hungry they get. So yeah, I would just say like the biggest offering is just doing the work and telling people the truth about the spirits and about your gnosis. When it comes to your practice, when it comes to your business, I would definitely just research. Research is your biggest friend. Researching the different spirits that have different forms of knowledge that pertain to what you're trying to do. When you approach these spirits, just have respect, treat them like you want to be treated. You have to have patience too. These days, everybody wants things now, 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 but like it's not going to come overnight. And you have to realize that. You can't hyper focus on getting that success.
Mm.
What you need to focus on is doing the work, doing the right thing. And then once you prove yourself to those spirits, then they'll start doing things for you without you even asking. If you need money, money will show up. If you need customers, customers will start showing up. I've had people come to me and say, certain spirits spoke on my behalf.
Mm.
And so then they bought my book. Or, I've had people, if you're somebody who does consultations for things like that, I've had, certain spirits come to people and say, hey, the spirit told me to come to you. So the opportunity is there, and you just have to approach it from a logical standpoint. You can't stress too much about that goal. Just do what you're going to do it in a genuine manner, and it'll come to you.
When you were saying that, I'm looking at it as it's damn near the same as just building rapport with someone that you know.
Mhm.
So, and it's about delayed gratification and enjoying that journey. Like you said, doing it in a genuine manner, staying grounded so you're not too in the clouds and on your high horse.
Right, definitely. Because like it's when you become imbalanced, that's when you start on your path of destruction, self-destruction. And for anybody who wants to be genuine, like always, always be self-analytical, always be humble, like know what you do, be sure about what you do,
Yeah, know your worth, of course.
yeah, but at the same time, like understand like your limits, and that we are always learning. We're not always going to know everything. We're not, it's never going to be like a position where our shit doesn't stink. And I feel like that would also help your business when you come from a place of humility and where you're personable and approachable. Then you're going to get more people who come in and actually want to contribute to your business. When you come off as genuine instead of somebody who's money hungry and may like tell people what they want. People know that. They sense that. Like people aren't stupid,
Everybody got
they
that gut feeling.
yeah, like they know when you're an honest person. So be an honest person. Well, thank you for inviting me to this conversation. I
Of
really
course.
appreciate it. Be sure to go visit my man, Firstborn Art, see what he has going on.
Firstbornart.com. Can check out some of my artwork, my music. Search me up on streaming platforms, Firstborn Art. I just dropped a new album called Sex, Shrooms, and Sirens, majorly produced by me. I consider my music esoteric, stream of consciousness rap. My art is a lot of Afro surrealism, esotericism, social commentary based themes. So yeah, Firstborn Art everywhere.
My book is now on Amazon and it's available on worldwide now. It's called Grimoire of Damnation. And that's basically my journey through the left-hand path in order, it leads up to the abyss, crossing the abyss, and kind of unshackling yourself from former beliefs that were holding you down. My YouTube channel is Demonosophy and Beyond, and I've had that for about over 3 years now. I am Demonosophy at Demonosophy on TikTok. If you want to get in contact with me, my email address is derelictdemon@gmail.com. Derelictdemon is all one word, no spaces. And that's where you can hit me up.
Everything of his will definitely be in the description. Definitely got to collab with you on some more videos, man. Bridging that metaphysical with the creativity. Firstborn Art, we appreciate y'all for the engagement.